After a 19-hour public hearing and months of debate, Governor Janet Mills signed her abortion bill into law today. Good evening, I'm Brian Nicono.
And I'm Samantha York in for Amanda Hill. The bill was a major focus during this legislative session and passed through the House and Senate on mainly party line votes. News Center Maine's Sam Rogers has more from the State House.
Earlier today, the governor inking LD 1619 into law. Mills and other supporters celebrating the move that will put the decision whether to have an abortion later in pregnancy in the hands of women and their doctors.
I didn't expect to get as emotional as I did.
Inside the governor's cabinet room, Mills signing the historic legislation in front of patient advocates, religious leaders, and medical professionals.
Maine Medical Association and its members believe that medical decisions belong in the exam room, not in the legislature.
Advocates add this bill will give pregnant people the access to the health care they need, again, only if their doctor deems it necessary.
With a healthcare provider that they trust, without great financial cost to them or without unnecessary suffering.
The unfortunate suffering of one Maine family inspiring the drafting of this bill.
My name is Dana Pierce and I live in Yarmouth, Maine.
4 years ago, she was 32 weeks pregnant with her son when she had a routine ultrasound.
However, the scan that day showed that Cameron had lethal skeletal dysplasia, which meant that he would not be able to breathe outside of my body, and he was also suffering from a broken leg and had other healed fractures.
Because of Maine's abortion law at the time, Pierce had to fly to Colorado.
The only decision I could imagine making was to relieve his suffering by having an abortion.
Pierce says sharing her story helped her grieve and now could change lives.
I wanted someone else who went through this to know that they weren't alone.
While many religious organizations around Maine spoke out against this bill,
we supported LD 1619.
Maine Council of Churches Executive Director Reverend Jane Field says the support for it was rooted in her faith.
We do not believe that anyone should be forced to remain pregnant by the government against the advice of their own doctor.
We got to take government out of the decision-making process and put the doctor and patient in charge.
Now, all Republican lawmakers in both the House and Senate did not vote for this bill during the final round of voting. Several religious organizations around the state opposed it as well. Today, in a statement, the Maine GOP pointing out Governor Mills said she would not change the state's current abortion laws during her re-election campaign, but those changes will go into effect 90 days after the legislative session wraps up. In Augusta, Sam Rogers, News Center, Maine.